Hi.
Surprise, bitch. I bet you thought you'd seen the last of me.
Hey guys, George Alexander here, and today we are watching The Crown Season 4, Episode 4. Last episode was a really good episode. Of course, it was a Diana-centred episode, and we learned all about her struggles to being welcomed into the royal family and all of the learning that she had to do. We also saw her suffer with her bulimia, and also we saw her meet Camilla, who they had a little bit of a, not an altercation, because it was, but there was just, I think they both knew that there was an awkwardness there. Of course, Margaret, Princess Margaret, not Margaret Thatcher, had said in the episode, look, these two don't want to get married, let's stop it now before it goes too far, and they get married and it's all just too late. But of course, alas, that did not happen, and we know that did not happen. And at the very end we saw them not get married, but we saw obviously them getting ready to get married. I don't think we see the wedding, only because I saw an interview with Olivia Colman. She said, oh, I never saw the wedding dress, so I don't think we see that. I think that's just the ending there. But I'm really excited to get into episode 4 and see if we can see a little bit more about Princess Margaret, and of course as well Margaret Thatcher. She's quite heavily involved in the second episode, and so we'll see if we see her as well throughout the course of this. I'm sure we will. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get into it. This is episode 4, and yeah, enjoy.
The house in order. Now, almost 3 years on, we have inflation at 12%, unemployment of 3 million, and rioting and civil unrest in several major cities.
It's true. But there isn't a magical system whereby you can just push a few buttons and twiddle a few knobs and everything will be all right.
Yeah.
So unprofessional.
No, not at all.
The very idea that the first time a prime minister should break down in this room and it be a woman.
It is by no means the first time a prime minister has broken down in here.
No.
Over the years, this room has been part office, part drawing room, part confessional, and part psychologist's couch. We even have paper hankies. Openly admit preferring one child to another, especially twins.
Any honest parent.
What?
Any honest parent would admit to having a favourite.
Who's our favourite?
My favourite or your favourite?
His favourite's Anne.
I'd say so, yes.
All right, you first. Who's yours?
Anne.
Yeah, hers is Edward or Andrew.
Well, because it didn't require thought.
Philip.
And your favourite is...
I don't know.
Liar.
You and your colleagues must leave immediately and remove the Argentine flag.
Ustedes son los ilegales.
Oh, this is the war.
Argentina! Remove the flag.
I would be able to get up and tired about that. Oh, hang on, give me a second, Liz. About that. Oh.
Perhaps a short briefing document ahead of each meeting, focusing on each child's hobbies, interests, and so forth.
Oh my god. She just has
One
no
child will be
idea, doesn't she?
uninformed, or killed, or remotely remote.
Of course, ma'am.
Darling, so lovely to see you.
Mummy. This is Edward. Edward's
What's
the
all this?
youngest, isn't he?
What a terrible fright when I heard you wanted lunch. This isn't bad news, is it?
Who bullies you?
Pretty much everyone.
How?
You don't want.
I do.
Have them killed.
All right. They call me Jaws, my braces. They fill plastic spoons with saliva and flick it at the back of my head.
Oh.
They put super glue on my chair.
With what justification?
To protect its citizens.
Who are breaking the law by trespassing,
The Foreign Secretary has asked for your support of his proposed solution.
which is
To reroute HMS Endurance to avoid what he sees as an unnecessary conflict with Argentina while the situation is resolved diplomatically.
You mean to do nothing?
Yes.
How will it possibly end up well if we do nothing? Our people, far from home, their lives are in danger, Charles. Our own. We must do something.
It's not easy. Working in the heat and squalor of a third world country, doing real work for real charities.
She's done a lot,
Do I
Anne.
get as much as a mention in any newspaper? And yet all she has to do is put on a frock And she's all over all the front pages, and everyone's falling over in shock at how wonderful she is. Who?
Diana.
Her.
Diana.
The only other young female in the family. You can't. Here's the one thing that makes me happy.
You have so much to make you happy.
Then how come none of it does?
Well, again, if you're patient.
The House of Windsor's never been very good.
Is that it? Is that the advice? Stick it out,
Monogamy.
remember it, persevere. Or I just want to smash it all up.
It will pass too.
Is that it? Is doing nothing your solution to everything?
Sometimes doing nothing is the best course of action. I think one of the Queen's biggest issues is, of course, she doesn't know her kids very well. It's because she's not really been that close to them that she doesn't understand how they feel, I think. So it's nice, this episode I think is really interesting because she's finally understanding none of them are happy.
The Prime Minister will be relieved to be reunited with her favourite child.
How are you getting on with your favourite?
Have you worked out who yours is yet?
I just thought he could have shown a bit more
To be fair,
gratitude for the rescue.
this is like me and my mum.
Why? It was their job, wasn't it? And gratitude.
Although I'm an only child, so I am her favourite. She's got no
entire
choice.
search and rescue. When we are about to be attacked, I fail to understand the lack of urgency from everyone. Tell the Foreign Secretary and the Chief of the Defence Staff and the Defence Secretary I want them in my office by this time tomorrow.
Prime Minister.
You tell her, Margaret.
It's the dukedom that traditionally goes to the second eldest and has long military associations.
As in the Grand Old Duke of.
Exactly.
Though didn't the previous two Dukes of York also both become king?
Yes, due to the unexpected death or abdication of their elder brothers.
It's just a shame that Andrew's nocturnal events have
Ma'am,
subsequently
I've had a call from the
came
Prince
up.
of Wales's private secretary who wants.
This administration is currently...
Go on, Geoffrey. Say it.
unloved, unpopular. We will never survive an unnecessary and unaffordable war.
And I say, we will not survive not going to war.
I know you're not feeling well, but I would remind you, she's not just your mother-in-law, she's also your queen. Diana! Diana! Diana!
When you chose Gloucestershire, I must say I did wonder why.
It was so convenient. The RAF airfield nearby, proximity to Cornwall, and Anne's just a stone throw away.
Not just Anne.
Camilla.
Only a 15-minute drive, I heard.
Camilla and I just hunt together these days, that's all.
But in your position, I might be inclined to worry less about my own happiness and pay a little more attention to the well-being of the mother of my future child.
And the future King of England. Charles definitely isn't her favourite.
Hello, you.
You got the message. SOS 999. We dropped everything.
What's the matter, darling?
She can ask her mum who's her favourite. Is it me or Margaret?
A question or an order? More of a cry for help, I think. The conclusion I've come to is that
I
it's
don't like
our
any of
children
them.
that are lost, not the Prime Minister's. Each in their own deserts.
Anne's not lost.
Her marriage is.
Right. Edward's not lost.
I disagree. He seems entirely lost. And bullied. And vengeful.
I'll concede that Charles is lost. He always has been.
As for Andrew.
Your favourite.
I was shocked. If he doesn't change...
I probably really won't. Bless her. She's just been bound by duty all her life since she was young, and she took it very seriously, which she needed to as a queen, but I think she blocked her family out maybe just too much.
With her hardware displayed for all to see. The people said goodbye, a small boy saluted. Godspeed, they shouted. And then, more softly, come back safely.
War's about to begin. Ooh. Okay, guys, really good episode actually. I quite enjoyed that. It was obviously a very dialogue and, you know, relationship centric episode. I really liked though how we got to see, because of course in the first two seasons, well, the first three really, we didn't really get to see anything of Andrew or Edward, so it was nice to see all the children and see where they're up to, and how life in the royal family, or having the Queen as their mother, sort of affected them, and how they felt. And I think it was nice to see it through the eyes of the Queen and through the mother, because it was obviously very difficult, I think, for the Queen to kind of understand how they all felt. Like I say, you know, she didn't really spend much time with them, and I think obviously especially Charles and Anne, and so for her this was her trying to catch up on who they are really, because she didn't really know who they are. She didn't know what made them tick and how they were feeling. And I think that at the end though she kind of did have an understanding, but whether that will affect her choices later on in the series, we'll have to see, you know, whether she does become a bit more maternal towards them, or if she still stays, of course, just the same distance that she was. But lots of great dialogue, lots of great scenery, beautiful castles, and a really good episode as well for Olivia Colman to see her version of the Queen, and just to see a bit more about her and a bit more in depth and how she's feeling and things. So I really like that. And of course also a great episode for Margaret Thatcher as well, of course, with her son going missing, which I didn't remember seeing in The Iron Lady. Maybe it's been a long time since I've seen that movie, so maybe it did happen. Maybe it's just been a little bit of a long time since I've seen it. But to see her relationship as well with her daughter, and how, you know, she says it's not because she's a woman, it's because she's weak, and her daughter's just like, fine, you know, just I'm never gonna win. But yeah, and of course at the end, well, throughout, but obviously mainly at the end, we're of course getting towards the Falkland War. So I'm really excited to see how they play the Falklands out in this series, and the repercussions of that, and of course how the royal family feel, and of course Margaret Thatcher as well when she's discussing those situations with the Queen and whatnot. So yeah, another great episode. This is a really strong series so far. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. All my social media in the description box below. And yeah, until next time, see ya.